Welcome to Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games Discord, playing with players live over the internet every Wednesday and Friday, and I'm really looking forward to this match. Jan on Titan Post versus Matt on Eureka. I love both of these decks. This green Cloud Post deck, very, very powerful, and it's a tough matchup for show and tell decks as they have things that they can put in which are really big problems. If you go ahead and put in like a Gristlebrand off your show and tell and they put in a prime time, you're probably losing that game, as crazy as Gristlebrand is. I mean, it is, unless you have like enough mana to draw into another show and tell, I mean, that could be over on the spot when they attack and get those extra cloud posts. We've got a Ponder and a Brainstorm for Matt, and most of my cloud post days have been with cantrips, so I've usually sleeved up cloud posts alongside Brainstorm, even recently with a blue-green build where the only blue cards were Brainstorm and Shriekbind and some Euros. The inevitability with Titan Post really, really strong, as each additional cloud post grows your mana base exponentially, and here Matt is able to play a show and tell. What will Jan have to put in here? I've had builds with Elvish Reclaimer, main deck. Also, another cloud post here, and thanks to Vesuva. We've got an Omniscience and a Gristlebrand, and this is probably going to do it. Or Reclamation Sage. I'm not sure if I got those two crossed up. There is the Disenchant on a body as well as the Crop Rotation on a body. So many elves in recent years. But Matt is digging. He's drawn 17 cards here. 14 with Gristlebrand, 3 more with a Brainstorm, and now Cunning Wish should do it. He'll be able to grab a Shared Summons to grab Emrakul, and now take an extra turn and swing for lethal. Grabbing an extra Gristlebrand for good measure. And Jan has no option there but to scoop it up, as that is how you win. Annihilator 6 is going to take care of just about anything that Jan could possibly have. Now, that Elvish Reclaimer, if I'm getting the name right, is really, really strong in Cloud Post decks. And against control decks, if they're not able to answer him with either a Force of Will when he's cast or through removal later on, he'll just win the game by himself, easily ramping you up, getting a ton of cloud posts, and then an Eye of Ugin, allowing you to tutor up your Emrakul, your Kozilek, your Ulamog, whatever Eldrazi Titan that you're actually running in the list. And it's pretty brutal. It is pretty brutal. You can also get Golos in this deck, which I don't know if Jan is running the Cascading Cataract. That was a cute card that I was running. Ultimately, I don't know that it made the cut. It definitely led me down some incorrect lines at times, where I'd try and get Golos with the Cataract and then spin the wheel to get 3 free cards off the top of the deck. It wasn't actually as good as, activating an Eye of Ugin, for example. Typically, you were better off just activating the Eye and then casting Emrakul the next turn, rather than spinning the wheel and then spinning the wheel again the next turn. Emrakul being cast is generally better than 6 random cards. Now, if you hit your Emrakul, sure, you got it. But that's not always going to be the case, and a lot of the time you hit lands. The deck is very land heavy. But what a great ramp spell. Half of a prime time, all colorless, something that can easily be cast on the 3rd turn with a couple of cloud posts and even a forest. And Green Sun Zenith, incredibly good in this deck. Able to get prime time or that Elvish Reclaimer. They don't usually run Dryad Arbor. That type of ramping's not generally exciting enough. That's kind of linear. You really want exponential growth with these cloud post lists. Instead of just 1 additional mana, you want, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. You got 5 cloud posts out, and you got 25 mana. That's quite a lot of work from just 5 lands. Elvish Reclaimer, no Force of Will, and a Ponder. Now, it's not entirely given that Matt would Force of Will the Elvish Reclaimer, since he is on a combo deck and does have at least the intention of outracing any utility that this creature may have. It is somewhat slow. And I don't know what Jan might have to slow things down on the other side as well. Oof. Turn 2 show and tell. What is this going to turn into? We've got a Gristlebrand and a Glimmer Post. That is fairly underwhelming. Matt's going to be able to draw here. Now, he did already play his land. He's used a Lotus Petal. He'd have to hit the other 2 in the deck to cast another Show and Tell. But now, a Forest is going to get upgraded to a Cloud Post. No, he's going to go Karakas. All right, so he's going to try and hang in there. I don't know if this is going to be a winning line. Karakas does prevent extra damage from Gristlebrand, but, I mean, he's going to be able to draw a lot of cards. Yawn. Wow. I am genuinely surprised that he took the hit there. That is very, very surprising to me. I cannot think of a reason to allow that extra life gain, especially given that it allows for an extra 7 cards to be drawn. We've got a Show and Tell into a Prime Time, and we have Omniscience. Will he respond? Oh, wow. Here we go. So Prime Time trigger, and now a Krosan Grip taking out the Omniscience. And there's now a Prime Time on board. So that would be a reason to not use the Karakas. But there's going to be 7 more cards that Matt can potentially get into his hand. Now, he did play his land this turn. If he does hit another Lotus Petal, he would be able to Show and Tell again. But Krosan Grip, an absolute blowout card. And it looks like he's getting ready to discard down. I feel like he has to draw the 7. The Gristlebrand's just going to get bounced with Karakas otherwise. I guess we'll see. Whole bunch of lands going away. Glimmer Post's going to gain some life. And Elvish Reclaimer can, if needed, get even more colorless mana into the mix here. Candelabra is very, very strong in this deck, though not super common in the wild. I think it's much, much better now that Oko's out of the format. I would actually enjoy dusting off a Cloud Post deck now that control decks aren't running such a free answer to Candelabra. Getting it elked is pretty bad. You know, if your opponent's going to use a Krosan Grip or something on your Candelabra, that's fine. It's a 1-for-1 trade. They need to invest mana, probably more mana than the Candelabra cost you. You may have gotten some utility out of it, but I mean, when Oko's part of the mix, it's pretty brutal. That said, I don't know that it was really that great versus the Cloud Post decks. It was fine. It was a totally reasonable card. You got to play games of Magic because of it, for sure. But it would be a whole lot nicer to have things that are not as easily answered with no real drawback. And Matt is doing some fetching. He is facing down lethal. Now's the time. And a preordain. So he does not have it. He is just digging. And there's the show and tell. Couple of Lotus Petals left. What can Jan put in here? That'll be of help. Reclaimer and Omniscience. And now another Omniscience. Matt winning the first game. He has a Cunning Wish. And this should do it. Unless Jan has some type of response, Cunning Wish should be able to get the kill. Shared Summons plus Gristlebrand and Emrakul, casting them both. And this is going to be 22 damage. Now, interesting. Jan's actually going to have some options. Very, very interesting. So he can crop rotate using the elf to get a Glacial Chasm, potentially. And will that be enough? Maybe. Yeah, this is... I think perhaps Jan's going to be able to steal this game. Preventing all damage to himself. He just needs to be able to crash in there for 6 damage, which would be the prime time. Let's see what he's got. I mean, he could also gain life, but that would allow Matt to draw more cards with Gristlebrand. That seems far more dangerous. Let's see if he's got the Glacial Chasm. There's going to be an Annihilator 6 that's going to resolve either way. Karakas going away. A Glimmer Post. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. Is he trying to set up to be able to cast Emrakul on his own turn and crack back for lethal? How's he going to play it? Looks like he's trying to sort through. I believe he's reasoning it out now based off of the cards moving around. It does not look like he's got a clear winning line in his sights. He's trying to see if he can find a way to make it happen. You need 4 Cloud Posts in order to cast Emrakul. He does not have 4 Cloud Posts. Conversely, if you could keep 2 Cloud Posts, yeah, this is... Does he have... No, this will not do. Matt not using the 7 cards. For Gristlebrand, he's actually brainstorming here, and he has released the ants, and he is now going to see if he can do these final points of damage. Kozilek, ugh. Kozilek is now on top of the library. But I don't think he's going to be good enough. Echoing Truth bounces the prime time. Yeah, I wonder if Jan has Glacial Chasm in the list. If that's the case, I believe it would have prevented all combat damage to Jan, stopping the lifelink. And then he would add a chance to crack back with prime time. Now, Matt did end up having an Echoing Truth to handle it. And it looks like Jan is actually, scooping it up here to Emrakul and Gristlebrand in a really interesting match. I think that is one that I would certainly like to see more of. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.